How's it going, everybody? MyCupOfTea here, back in a reaction video, and today we're here to check out a video that I've been meaning to check out for the longest of times. One of the longest of times. Because today I'm here to learn about some Digimon. Now, I have watched all the openings and endings in the past few months, and today it's time to learn about the lore of each season. Today we're going to be watching Digimon Complete Series Retrospective by Billiam. Billiam? Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I did check out like the first 30 seconds of this video to see what it's all about. So the reason why this video is so long is that he combined all his different reviews of each season into one big cohesive video. And I think he like made some modifications or updated his reviews for like the earlier seasons. So I'm like, shoot, why not just watch this video? Now we are not gonna watch the entire video because one, I got something I gotta do afterwards, and two, I think it'll be too much information overload because there's like different seasons I gotta watch through. So today we're gonna be checking out season 1 review of Digimon, his review on it. Oh, before I forget, this was requested by Kumo Kiro. Bam! Shouts to you, Kumo Kiro. Shouts out to you. I know it's been like, what, 4 or 5 months, probably longer since you last requested this. My apologies, but we're here now. Better late than never. Alright, now let's start this. Let's get into it. Also, I'm kind of hungry, so I got me a Pop-Tart, or 2 Pop-Tarts in this case. So you might hear some noises because I'm trying to get my food. But alright, let's start this.
The following video is a compilation of reviews posted to my channel from August 2017 to June 2019. It covers the entirety of the Digimon anime. Now, while watching this, there may be some weird continuity errors, and that's because I'm presenting this series as if it were going in chronological order for all of the Digimon anime, even though I didn't really cover the anime in chronological order. Also, it includes a brand new version of my original Digimon review, which I decided to redo in order to fit in with my current style. Also, this video is not sponsored, but I am selling a Digimon t-shirt in order to celebrate the finishing of this retrospective. It's modeled after the Digimon Tamers logo.
I'm excited to see what it's all about.
I have like... are pinned to the top of the comments.
I kind of know a little bit about Digimon, but
at the bottom of this YouTube video. So anyways,
it's not that much. It's not that much.
Digimon, digital monsters. Unfortunately, too many people look at Digimon and dismiss it as a Pokemon clone. And well, that's not totally true.
Yeah.
It's not totally untrue. When Pokemon had its first release in 1996, Digimon was introduced a year later. But besides starring monsters and having a similar naming convention, Digimon and Pokemon don't share too much in common. Digimon is a sister product to Tamagotchi, but it was marketed directly towards boys. So instead of Tamagotchi's pure baby essence, muscles, weapons,
muscles.
And this. The original Digimon V-Pet had the player raising a Digimon from an egg until it would either die, like all of mine.
This literally happened!
What?
Like literally, one after the other.
Oh, R.I.P.
This Tamagotchi is dead, and my Digimon died. Are you kidding me?
Or
that's wild. You gotta buy a new one.
Into more powerful Digimon that you could then battle by connecting devices. It was successful, and it spawned video games, manga, a card game, and an anime. Released in 1999. Digimon.
Hey, it was a card game too? Oh, this is the Japanese opening.
Adventure always surprises me when I rewatch it. While the production quality and a questionable English dub makes it harder for newer fans to get into it, there are certain qualities of it that hold up remarkably well. It's an adaptation of a very simple concept, yet it does so much with it. There are dozens of interpretations and alternate universe in which Digimon takes place. The Digimon franchise is like a sandbox that allows pretty broad freedom of storylines and themes. However, some are less like sandboxes and more like a litter box. I actually feel bad for that joke. When looking at Digimon, it really feels like a product of its time. You have a slew of cute and clean monsters that are simply designed because they're adapted from sprite art that would fit into a 16:16 screen. But that's also contrasted by Digimon that radiate 90s Marvel comics energy. Rob Liefeld straps and all. And that's design. The Digimon look from this period was defined by American comics, which were having a major surge in popularity in Japan at the time. This Digimon isn't just a T-Rex. It's a T-Rex with a metal war helmet and pecs made out of cannons. And a turtle that doesn't only have Bowser's shell, but Thor's hammer and the face of Jamie Heineman. It's pretty rad.
Although I make videos about a lot of nostalgic properties, the ones I really hold close to my heart are Digimon and Animal Crossing. And for Digimon, it's because behind that overly masculine, artillery-carrying, weapon-holding muscles is a very sincere story about kids, their relationships, and growing up.
Digimon Adventure
Okay,
starts with 7 kids at summer camp. After a weird series of weather events across the globe, it begins to snow right in the middle of summer. Suddenly, each of the 7 kids are given a small digital pocket watch-looking thing called a Digivice, and suddenly, a wave comes out of nowhere, sweeping them up and transporting them to the digital world, a Narnia-esque fantasy world that is also home to the Digimon. Suddenly, they all meet their own partner Digimon.
Okay.
We're Digimon.
Oh, they already talked. Okay.
Monsters.
I would argue that most of the Digimon don't go through character development themselves. Their personalities complement or contrast the kids they're paired to. There's Tai, the de facto leader of the group. He's got goggles. He's
Tai. Okay, Tai. So yeah, off rip it's like, all right, you're here in the Digi world. Here's your Digimon. You're bound for life now, basically. That's your partner for life. You can't change. Is that how it is, basically? Do they get to choose? Like, do the humans, the kids, do they get to choose the Digimon? Or is it just like, hey, that's your Digimon. You don't get a choice. That's your Digimon.
Development themselves. Their personalities complement or contrast the kids they're paired to. There's Tai, the de facto leader of the group. He's got goggles.
Okay.
He's athletic, and he's quick to make
the
decisions.
punt.
His partner is Agumon. Sora is the helmet-wearing athletic, and he's quick to make decisions.
Agumon?
His partner is Agumon. Sora is the
okay.
helmet-wearing, tough-but-caring, level-headed member of the group. Her partner is Biomon. There's Matt and TK, 2 brothers who come from a divorced household. Matt comes off as kind of cold and distant, but he's very caring and passionate. His
Alright, now I'm going to write this down. Hold on. They're throwing names at me. I'm going to have to write this down real quick. I think this carries on to season 2. So let me grab my phone. Got Tai, right? Tai paired with
the group.
Agumon.
He's got goggles. He's athletic, and he's quick to make decisions. His partner is Agumon.
Okay.
Sora is the helmet-wearing, tough-but-caring, level-headed member of the group. Her partner is Biomon.
Biomon, alright.
There's Matt and TK.
Matt and TK, 2 brothers, alright. Alright, we're good.
2 brothers who come from a divorced household. Matt comes off as kind of cold and distant, but he's very caring and passionate. His partner is Gabumon.
Okay. Gabumon. Matt partner is Gabumon. There we go.
TK is the little kid of the group. He's very excitable, but often is getting into situations where he can't protect himself because his Digimon Patamon can't digivolve to stronger forms as soon as the others.
That's tragic. Okay, sorry for pausing so much. I gotta make sure I write this down. I feel like it's gonna pop up again. Patamon. Alright, that should be it. I should have to write anything else down for a while.
Patamon and TK kind of go back on, can't digivolve to stronger forms as soon as the others. Patamon and TK kind of go back and forth between guiding each other and having to be guided by the other. It's really quite cute. Izzy is the techie, big dork, big brains of the group. He's infinitely curious and is always trying to learn more about the digital world, which helps us to learn more about it. His Digimon is Tentomon, who may just be my favorite of the original 7 Digimon.
Tentomon. Okay. Alright. That should be enough now.
More about it. His Digimon is Tentomon, who may just be my favorite of the original 7 Digimon. He's super supportive of Izzy and is always concerned with his well-being.
Okay, nice.
Joe is the oldest member of the group, and although he has some basic first aid knowledge, he's very squeamish and cautious. His Digimon is Gomamon, who
oh my god, so many names. He did say these are the 7 original Digimon, so we have 6 so far.
Serves as a more fun and outgoing contrast to Joe. Gomamon may just be my favorite of the original 7 Digimon. He's adorable. And finally, we have Mimi.
Okay.
Mimi is initially presented as a shallow valley girl type who just wants to get home, but she eventually steps up.
Here.
Now, there have been previous watch-throughs where I hadn't liked Mimi, but I really like her now. She's great. She never grows out of her love for fashion or shopping or whatever, but she's still very useful. I like her because many of those qualities are usually associated with a mean girl type character and are seen as negative. However, these are just her interests, and they don't impede on her ability to be useful.
Okay, that's cool.
Who out of the other Digimon is closest to on her ability to be useful. Her Digimon is Palmon, who...
Palmon, alright. We're good now. We shouldn't have to type anymore.
Out of the other Digimon is closest to resembling
Slap.
the personality of the partner. I love the Digimon cast. Their personalities are so well defined and strong. I feel like you could drop two of these characters into a troublesome situation and you would know exactly how they try to solve the problem, how they disagree with each other, etc.
Okay. I know how to get it to boot up. You just gotta give it a
Hey, that's an expensive computer.
Brain cells malfunctioning?
Their characters then present themselves through an archetype of another character we've seen before or are familiar with. So we kind of understand them at face value immediately. It's inviting. But as the series progresses, our idea of that kind of character deepens and evolves. The first few episodes of the show are very light on plot, but it takes time to introduce us to the characters and to the world. It begins with a kind of formula. Each episode features a Digimon attacking the group, and one of the kids gets put into danger, so their partner has to temporarily transform into a more powerful level to protect them from either a bad Digimon or a good Digimon infected by a black gear, which makes them more violent. While the Digimon have 6 stages they can reach, they usually remain in their third form, their base form. While the Digimon have different names in different stages,
I'll come back and write stuff down.
I'll only be referring to them as their base form to avoid confusion,
and I'll be referring to the Digimon characters as their English names, because I'm an English speaker.
I'm down with that.
Most people watching this video speak English and probably grew up with the English dub. And I know this is a controversial opinion, but I value clear communication over, you know, flexing my Digimon.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
Who will care? So I understand if you want to refer to characters as their original names, but please, if you really need to hear Chi and Tail and Yam blank O, if those extra syllables really mean that much more to you, please go elsewhere.
No, I need to hear Yamato, and T. If I don't hear that, it's a bad thing. I'm just kidding.
Or rage comment down below. The algorithm, you know how it is.
A few episodes in, it's revealed a Digimon named Devimon controls the black gears, and he's planning to defeat the children for some reason. That's pretty evil. Devimon separates all of the kids, and while they're trying to find their way back to one another, we get to see some of the characters interact with each other one-on-one. The pairings are great, and it continues to explore their character. My favorite things in ensemble-based storytelling is when characters you wouldn't expect to interact do. Seeing Izzy and Mimi having to problem solve when one is an impatient airhead and the other is a socially unaware dork is great.
Don't cry, Mimi. Oh no, not you too. Mimi, do something. Do what? My laptop can't do everything.
The highlight for this part of the series has always been Matt and Tai having their alone time. Tai wants to head back to where they saw Devimon, and Matt wants to find the others, especially TK.
So you about to fight?
Result in fighting, which causes Matt to break down and explain how he feels responsible for TK's safety, especially because he feels guilty for not being super involved in his life ever since their parents got a divorce. Throughout the whole show, we're given glimpses into the characters' home life, which helps to inform their behavior in the digital world. While the world is fantastical with all sorts of variations of monsters, the emotional core of the characters are grounded in real-life domestic troubles. Personally,
was she cheated?
Is fantastical with all sorts of variations of monsters.
It's the other way around.
The emotional core of the characters are grounded in real-life domestic troubles.
Personally, the kind of fantasy I gravitate towards are one with a grounded emotional reality. If the emotional struggles the characters are going through don't have an analog to real life, it's something that's very difficult to identify with. And I truly believe that Digimon finds a great balance.
One character I'm sure many younger viewers gravitated towards is TK. While Digimon are evolving left and right and all over the place, TK's Digimon Patamon just can't. This makes TK feel useless, and Patamon's evolution is teased pretty explicitly. There's even an episode where you think they're finally going to evolve, beginning a transformation sequence and everything. But it's just a tease. It's edging, even. When the kids finally get back together, they're told about their destiny by Leomon, a very good-looking, rugged lion.
They just punched a lion? Lion man.
Mon. They explain they're the DigiDestined, chosen children brought to the digital world to protect it from evil. The Digivice links the child to their Digimon, giving it the power to Digivolve. And that's pretty neat. They determine the best chance to get home is to fulfill their destiny and defeat Devimon, and Devimon is like,
oh my god,
no. And right when everyone has had a good and embarrassing butt-kicking, release.
Let's go!
Digivolves to Angemon.
Oh my,
I want to take him home with me.
I'm sure plenty of people do. Angemon beats Devimon
How do you transform how does Patamon, that little tiny looking thing, turn into this angel looking man, basically?
I want to take him home with me.
I'm sure plenty of people do. Angemon beats Devimon by using all of its energy and reverting back to a Digi-Egg. Although Digimon don't die, they need to restore themselves after death.
And my Digimon died.
This show's TK is just as useful and maybe even more so than the others, despite being just a little guy. And also, despite his Digimon now needing to take time to reincarnate, meaning once again, he may be just as useless.
Dang.
I'm sorry, buddy. The Devimon arc
He
serves
saved him,
to
though. He
introduce
saved
the
him.
world and the characters. Until the last episode or two, there really isn't a clear plot or goal other than for the kids to survive. So it leaves a lot of time for character and world exploration, but it doesn't meander to the point of feeling purposeless. We see a lot, including quite the variety of Digimon. From bears, squishy guys, slithery guys, sludgy guys, and rhinos. It's really imaginative
the rhinos.
and interesting.
Now, I always knew that Angemon came around to finally beat Devimon, but I'm not sure I ever actually saw the episode as a kid. There are a lot of Digimon episodes I didn't watch while growing up. I didn't see the whole series in its entirety until I rewatched it on YouTube, and from around 2006 or 7. And it's not like I really had the option to watch the whole series.
In North America, we got 5 volumes of Digimon Adventure on VHS.
Oh, don't tell me.
With the first 3 being sequential, and the next 2 being climaxes to later arcs. The first 3 volumes almost completes the first story arc, but is 4 episodes short. However, there was a really rare DVD release in 2002 that had the first 13 episodes on it. There wasn't a proper home video release or even an official streaming release until 2012. And even that release just featured broadcast tape quality episodes with TV ratings either still present or just blurred out in the corners.
The original Japanese version was available on streaming platforms a few years ago, but it was taken down, and Funimation, who apparently own the rights to it, haven't done anything with it since. Also, update, as of 2019, Digimon has once again been removed from streaming platforms and digital marketplaces, meaning the only way to watch the original series is to track down the 2012 DVD release, and I'm not even sure if that's in print anymore, Pumpkin.
Why? Why did they make it so complicated? Oh, there's not. Okay, we can talk. Why did they make that so complicated? I'm like, don't tell me it's like they did the Yu-Gi-Oh thing, like in GX. Where it's like, all right, here's season 3. We're gonna stop it. We're not gonna animate no more. You won't get in the West anymore. It usually happens with like the older animes, like Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't think Dragon Ball Z had the problem. Yeah, I think all the episodes were in English. That's stupid. That's stupid. I think there's a way you can find it online, but the only way to like properly find it is by finding a DVD to watch the old anime episodes. That's lame. That's lame. Boo, I say boo. And we're back.
Digimon primarily tells its story through 4 distinct arcs, all of which have a clearly defined final boss to defeat. While I used to think this was a big negative for the show, I've grown to appreciate this almost video game-like style of storytelling, especially after watching the later Digimon seasons. With 54 episodes to get through, there's definitely opportunity for this.
Oh, no. We can't just go back. We ain't gonna go past what I just saw.
Seasons. With 50.
What is this? What is the lore behind this thing? I don't even know what to call it. It's a circle with. What is this? Who is this? Whom are you? You look like a character from Bo. That show.
4 episodes.
Yeah, armpits too.
There's definitely opportunity for this story to outstay its welcome. But with a 3-act structure being spent on the 10 to 20 episodes as opposed to all 54 episodes at once, the show never quite loses its pacing. It doesn't drag on. And while defeating the villain is always the climax of an arc, it's never the driving factor of the story. The story isn't simply defeat the villain, rather the villain stands in the way of a different goal. At least until the show's final arc. While Digimon's narrative is serialized, episodes feel distinct and separate from one another. It can feel formulaic at times, but the wide cast of likable characters creates enough variation to stay entertained. After defeating Devimon, the kids are sent on a mission across the ocean to collect tags and crests, little emblems that may help their Digimon reach the next stage, and hopefully get them home. However, while traveling across the new
Wait, I'll start for hearing like you hear like a... We call those things lawnmower in the distance. So I thought Lion Man said that, hey, you guys are chosen. If you beat Devimon, you guys get to go home. I thought that's what happens. Like if you beat Devimon, you have to get these crystals or these tags in order to level up your Digimon to go home. Did I hear that right? Hold on.
Kids are sent on a mission across the ocean to collect tags and crests, little emblems that may help their Digimon reach the next stage, and hopefully get them home. However, while traveling across the new continent of Server, the group is being chased and pursued by a super powerful Digimon that also happens to be a chimp doing an Elvis impression.
What?
Something's caught in my network.
He wants to stop them from collecting the crests.
Why? What? Who cares why? I'm here for it.
That's pretty mean. Well, the first arc was a kind of mindless exploration of the digital world with the most evil-looking villain ever. The second arc gives a clear goal while being hunted down by a super powerful, albeit very silly villain.
Where's my fried banana sandwich?
However, the real purpose of the arc is to introduce the Crests, which is one of my favorite character development devices ever. The Crests remain a prominent part of the story through pretty much the rest of the series. While the Crests enable the Digimon to digivolve to their 5th stage, it's also tied to a particular value or trait that each kid exemplifies, whether they directly realize it or not. Courage, friendship, sincerity, knowledge, hope, love, and faith, or reliability if you're watching the English dub. While Digimon would digivolve to the champion level if their partner was in danger, the next stage is only reached if they are able to discover or uphold their particular value in a difficult scenario. So while they all find their crests rather easily, activating them is another issue entirely. At one point, Tai tries to force his crest of courage to activate by throwing himself into danger, but this just corrupts it, causing Agumon to transform into a spooky, evil skeleton monster mash Digimon who goes on a rampage. You gotta have that rampage scene.
Yeah, I think him doing that turned that courage into recklessness, which is not the same. Those are not the two same things right there.
However, it activates truly for the first time during a much more intimate moment. Tai briefly convinces himself the digital world is like a video game and has no consequences. However, he learns the danger in the digital world is real and suddenly becomes really fearful when he has to put his life in danger to protect a friend. It's not during a big fight. He just has to cross through a safe point in an electrical fence. But the point is he's scared to do so. When he builds up the courage to do it, his crest activates and Agumon digivolves using the highest tech animation in the business. Whoa, I love the crests. It's not just reaching a new form and getting more powerful, it's a reflection of how the kids are growing as people. Often when shows have power-ups and transformations, they can seem like a cop-out or an easy way to defeat a powerful villain. But having the kids have to earn it really helps to justify what may have been seen as a deus ex machina in a similar scenario. It's really clever, and I like it. After the fight, Tai accidentally opens a rift in the Digi-Time Continuum and ends up returning home alone. You gotta have that mid-series return home episode. This episode kind of serves as an intermission. It's very odd. No time has passed. It's still the same day from when they left, and nobody is home except for Tai's sister, Kari. This episode always feels off to me. And that's clearly intentional. The colors are subdued, no one seems to be noticing the giant Digimon attacking famous landmarks on TV, and
the Digimons are in the real world now? Oh, wow.
My sister has this creepy demeanor to her, and that's aided by the fact she mysteriously knows who Agumon is.
That is weird. That is very weird.
A few years ago, this episode's director, Mamoru Hosoda, who is one of Digimon's most influential creative voices, gave an interview comparing Tai and Kari's relationship in this episode to that of a married couple, with Agumon being this new younger girl, taking away Tai's attention from Kari. Now, many people took this quote to mean that Tai and Kari had an incestuous relationship.
Now, why would some people think that? That's okay, that's stupid.
However, I and many others don't.
Yeah,
Please,
that's stupid.
Don't make me believe that not seeing incest is a controversial opinion. This episode just feels off. It's completely different than anything else in the entire season, and I think Hosoda wanted Kari and Tai to have a strange and uncomfortable dynamic to make Tai's return to the human world seem off and uncomfortable. Something's wrong, and it's not that two prepubescent siblings are romantically involved. Tai eventually receives a distress call from the digital world and has to make the hard decision to return to the digital world. I rewatched this episode randomly outside of full series viewing.
Looks like a different art style than before.
And I feel like this episode's off tone makes it one of the highlights of the entire series. It's just a different flavor, and it explicitly introduces a series-long arc.
Wow, that's a nice design right there.
While the kids
Direction
need to
right
get
there. I
home
like
at
that.
some point, there's also been a responsibility thrust upon them to protect each other and this new world they've been introduced to from danger. It's not just about the self-serving goal of returning home, it's about helping to make the world a better place. When Ty returns to the digital world, everyone
and then we got color, like you mentioned before. Sorry for pausing. Like you mentioned before, the color tone, like how it was like animated and how the colors were very different when he went back to the real world. Ty got back to the real world, and then he is right now. I'm like, oh, look how vibrant this is. Look how much color there is in this Digi world.
Separated and has to find their way back together. One returns to the digital world, everyone is separated and has to find their way back together. Once they do, they are confronted by the mysterious new villain who has been keeping the kids separated while hiding in the shadows, Myotismon. What a spooky guy. The kids are able to find out Myotismon wants to get to the human world to find his secret missing eighth DigiDestined, and everyone is like, huh? Myotismon is able to escape into the human world before the kids get a chance to follow them, thanks to the help from Gatomon, Myotismon's top henchman. But eventually the kids are able to go through Myotismon's gate and return to the human world. This is where shit gets good. So younger sister Kari is the 8th child, but nobody else realizes it. They do discover the reason they were chosen as DigiDestined is because they all witnessed a Digimon fight when they were very young that was mistaken for a terrorist attack. So it's set up that the audience knows who the new DigiDestined is, but no one else does. However, Myotismon has Kari's tag and crest, so he clearly has the upper hand in the situation. I love this arc. Taking the action from the digital world to the human world raises the stakes in such a way that it makes the show feel suddenly really fresh. The Digimon are no longer guides, the kids are. And after being teased of the kids' home life, we finally get to see it front and center. And of course, that's all while they're trying to find creative ways to hide their Digimon. And now while many of the parents are just kind of background and side characters, Izzy's parents, Joe's brother, and Matt and TK's dad become characters heavily involved in the plot. At this point in the show as well, not all of the kids have had their crest activated. So the activation of their crests happen as a result of their family life or being close to that. While of course there is a bunch of insane action in this arc, or at least the implication of insane action, there are also some nice moments and somber moments as the kids finally get a moment to rest and reunite with their families. While the kids are searching for who the 8th DigiDestined could be, Myotismon is out wreaking havoc with super strong Digimon and sucking the blood of young women. We know that Kari is the 8th DigiDestined before anyone else does. However, Gatomon starts to suspect Kari as the 8th child. However, Wizardmon, Gatomon's BFF forever, or at least BFF for now, starts to suspect Gatomon as Kari's long-lost Digimon. However, this turns out to be the case. And it's the reunion of the two that makes Kari's identity known. So Gatomon may be my favorite of the original 8 Digimon. That's because Gatomon is the only Digimon that is actually their own character. Now, Gatomon is a villain. However, eventually we learned through Gatomon's best—
Wait, what do you mean his own character? Oh, I understand. I get it.
Digimon. That's because Gatomon is the only Digimon that is actually their own character. Now, Gatomon is a villain. However, eventually we learned through Gatomon's best friend for soon, Wizardmon, that Gatomon was not always a villain. Kari was supposed to go to summer camp with everyone else, but she was sick, so she couldn't. So while the other partner Digimon got paired with the kid, Gatomon waited forever and was eventually taken by Myotismon, where they became a villain after years of abuse. Myotismon figures out Gatomon is the 8th Digimon and uses that to discover that Kari is the 8th child, resulting in a big battle to rescue her. Wizardmon, Gatomon's best friend for no longer, sacrifices themselves to protect Kari. The crest is returned, it activates.
R.I.P. Oh, like you do. No, stop it! Oh my god! Oh my goodness, that's crazy different. That is vastly different than what I'm seeing right now. That figure.
But he reforms into a big, strong form, and luckily, Ty and Matt unlock their Digimon's final form, or I guess this isn't even their final form, to defeat the super strong Myotismon. In my opinion, the Myotismon arc is the climax to Digimon Adventure. While not every personal issue is nicely wrapped up at this point, there are confrontations and small glimmers of closure that could potentially come at a later point. One of my favorite moments comes towards the end of the story. TK and Matt have proven themselves to be of value and strength to their parents, who haven't seen each other in however long, and TK, being the young naive kid he is, thinks this reunion is happy. And although he's not wrong, there's a kind of somberness surrounding the whole situation that he really doesn't understand. You know, obviously their parents aren't going to get back together, but it's oddly hopeful. Like maybe this is a start of their family not being as distant as they were before. And this closure or hopeful confrontation of these issues is relevant for all of the characters' personal struggles. Although Devimon is just a good character, they're able to overcome their abuser by letting others come into their life to help. It makes Myotismon a very personal villain, and the only Digimon Adventure villain that isn't just bad guy, evil, baby boy.
As a kid, I love the conclusion to the Myotismon.
Okay.
It really justified liking Digimon to me. Not just because it was super cool, but to a certain extent, I understood that these more personal issues weren't things that were generally confronted in children's media. And I think that's why Digimon has continued to mean so much to me, despite what's holding it back. And I guess we can discuss.
Is it the art style?
What's holding it back?
The animation?
The first and most glaringly obvious issue with Digimon, especially now, is the English dub. I grew up with the English.
Oh, English dub? What's wrong with English dub? I mean, he's gonna tell me. Let me try to think. I mean, with that the Elvis monkey thing, you know, it wasn't like the greatest of voice acting, but you know, it was pretty funny from that short clips I heard.
English dub. I like it. I consider the voices of these characters to be defined by the English cast. However, early on in the dub, you can tell someone involved was embarrassed by Digimon. Jokes are consistently added where they shouldn't be. And 90% of the time, this is fine, but more often than it should, it undermines the emotional tone a scene is going for. And sometimes
like
they
Marvel
even
movies
point
nowadays
out and make fun of the limited animation.
Won't let you pee. Whoa, time's standing still here.
There are also a lot of
Alright, now, what do you think you are? Ghost Stories? You can't be just doing that. Only they can do something like that. You don't know Ghost Stories? It's the anime that did so bad in Japan. When they sent it to the West, I guess they wanted to dub over there. It was like, hey, do whatever you want. We don't care. And so the Ghost Story, I think it's Ghost Story. I think that's what it's called. The Ghost Story dub is a completely different story than the Ghost Story in Japan. Way funnier. I never finished it though, but I watched quite a bit of it.
Won't let you pee. Whoa, time's standing still here.
There are also a lot of characters whose voice is based on famous comedians or actors, including Peter Lorre, Rodney Dangerfield, and Marlon Brando.
I'll take you there myself. It's not every day your lunch saves your life.
That's the story of my life. No respect. I don't get no respect at all.
But I think the best voice in the whole dub is Togemon. Togemon is Palmon's first evolution, and you know they thought it was silly. I mean, it's a cactus with boxing gloves. How does it type with those boxing gloves on?
Don't worry about it.
Going down, big boy.
You can tell they had a blast voicing and writing this character. And while not a major critique of the dub, there are also some dubbing errors, like the wrong voices coming from the wrong characters.
Hey, check it out. You can see right through this wall.
And this odd moment where some kid broke into the recording studio and sent off the broadcast tape before anyone could notice.
Over here.
Huh? Well, so much.
There is still no official explanation from this, and people have asked the English producers. Like any dub of an English anime, there are also many censored changes that are made because of cultural norms. Some mild swearing is cut out, mild nudity, and references to alcohol are cut too.
All right, it's a bottle of green chili sauce. It's great on tacos.
The dub.
America loves censoring stuff back in the day for kids stuff. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it's like, dang. You finally see the difference, like, wow. So that wasn't juice this entire time. That was sake, or that wasn't medicine. Naruto, that wasn't medicine. That was sake. It comes to like partial nudity and stuff. They will definitely censor that. You better stop that. America don't play with that.
Its own music. While a lot of the music is recycled from other shows, several tracks were written exclusively for the Digimon show, including the main Digimon theme, which I love nostalgically, but is a major turnoff for new viewers. There were also victory songs written for when the Digimon were winning a battle. The folksy "Hey Digimon" excels at killing the mood of the scene it's played in. Hey Digimon, awesome friends to the bling bling. But nothing is as bad as the Digirap. However, there are also great orchestrated tracks that I still associate heavily with Digimon, including the instrumental version of the main theme that plays during heroic moments. However, what's lost in return are two of my favorite anime songs ever. Braveheart, the awesome guitar riffing song that plays during evolution sequences, and Butterfly, which I can say may be one of the best anime opening songs ever.
This song was so great. Butterfly was so great. I think I heard like 4 different openings of Digimon. The first one, I think 2020, probably heard it a couple more times. Yeah, Butterfly is definitely like, it's one of the top tier anime openings for Digimon.
While there are many questionable changes made in the English dub, the dub was not handled by 4Kids. So many things you would expect to be cut out aren't. There are a lot of mature themes and concepts that are fortunately kept in, including references to the number of the beast, 666, that's so metal, and mention of terrorist attacks. Oh wow. But this was before
4Kids with
Furthermore, all references to the story taking place in Japan are kept in. While I would definitely recommend newcomers track down the original Japanese version, I do think the English dub is forgivable because it makes an effort to respect the material, eventually. Matt's dad? Are you smoking?
But that is a cigarette.
My Christian English dub.
If that was 4Kids, that would be a lollipop in that man's mouth right now. That would have been a lollipop.
Of course, the second thing holding Digimon back today is the production quality. Although there are some great shots in Digimon that are animated well and the transformation sequences are phenomenal, the vast majority of action is very simple, with still frames being motion tweened, attack animations being recycled over and over, and sometimes the same shot repeating. Matt, where are you going? Also, the evolution sequences often take up huge chunks of the episodes, but fortunately, they will speed them up, cut out shots, and split screen the evolutions occasionally in order to keep up the pace of the sequences. And occasionally, there are whole episodes where characters are just off-model. It's very odd. After defeating Myotismon, a rift between the digital and human world opens up in the sky, and the kids learn they have to travel back to the digital world to finish off the final bad guys, the Dark Masters. 4 full-level Digimon that once wreaked havoc across the land, but were defeated by the group of original DigiDestined. Just a side note, this one frame inspired so much curiosity as a kid. Like, they gave no more detail other than just mentioning them. While I like the Dark Master storyline, it's definitely a classic last battle kind of story. Their strength is tested, their relationships are tested, and their roles within the group are tested. Throughout this entire arc, everything has changed. The Digimon they all met along the way are dying all around them, and the source of reincarnation for Digimon has been put on pause, meaning the stakes are higher than ever. Incarnation Digimon they all met along the way are dying all around them, and the source of reincarnation for Digimon has been put on pause, meaning the stakes are higher than ever. It's a pretty tense arc, and there are some great character moments, but I think the purpose is to just give the kids one final test to show how much they've grown. And while there is certainly continued character development, some lore development, and more, it's really about the kids taking responsibility just because they have the power to do so. There are some highlights like the return of Leomon, just to have him die. You gotta have that Leomon death.
Dang.
I also like how the other kids don't take a back seat here. There's a massive power gap between them, Tai, and Matt, which is something that definitely becomes a huge problem in later seasons. But fortunately, they don't take a back seat. The final Dark Master is defeated when TK's Crest finally activates after a whole series.
TK's Crest, he's back, finally.
Already. A big fun final battle follows that's just what you'd expect from a large ensemble action piece. But now, the first time the angel came out of nowhere to save the day, it's like, that's pretty great. He's pretty handsome too. The second time the angel came out of nowhere to save the day was like, that's pretty great. She's pretty handsome too. But then the third time the angel comes out of nowhere to save the day, it's like, that's pretty repetitive, regardless of how handsome you are. The first two were punctuation for a character arc, and here it's finally the activation of TK's Crest, but it seems like it was only withheld to have this cool reveal. However, the Dark Masters aren't the final villain. There's another final villain, the evil Apocalypse. That's pretty scary, but they beat him too.
Okay,
pretty good.
Boom. Is there a final villain?
Is
we're good. Okay.
The series ends very suddenly, and it comes as a shock to the audience and to the characters. The gate between the worlds are closing, and without much time, they have to say goodbye to their Digimon. It's really sad to see them say goodbye, but it's not a depressing ending. They'll see each other again someday, and we know they're ending their adventure as more complete people than when they started.
Digimon Adventure has one of my favorite pieces of childhood media. It's a story that is very silly at times, and the issues surrounding it are not insignificant enough to ignore. But this is a story that succeeds in spite of pretty glaring flaws. That's because the character work is very sincere. Even though it's surrounded by silly concept, crazy monsters, and edgy try-hard 2000s character design, the good qualities are able to shine through in spite of it. I mean, as long as what they're trying to shine through is not the show's biggest flaw, which is the Digi-Rap.
Oh. Digimon! No, Digimon! Yeah, I need to end up the review for season 1 at least. Yep. America, back in the days when anime wasn't that popular, they love making raps when they don't need to. The only good anime rap that I will stand by is the One Piece rap. That's my favorite. Nah. I don't care if some people don't like it. They say it's lame. I love that One Piece rap. Sanji's cooking. I love that One Piece rap. Oh.
Is a review of the first Digimon movie.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop it right here. Actually, how long is the Digimon movie? Let me see. That's only 2 minutes long. Dude, we can do that. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, watch it. Let's watch it.
If you hear me say a number throughout this entire video, that means I am covering one of the movies, and the number is just signifying which movie it is.
Number 1, Digimon Adventure, released in 1999. This film was released as a part of a Toei Film Festival, which aimed to preview upcoming Toei projects.
Completely.
It was directed by Mamoru Hosoda, who would later go on to direct some highly critically acclaimed films, including The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and The Boy and the Beast. Although the film serves as a preview for Digimon Adventure, within the series itself, it actually ends up playing a pretty important role in the plot. Also, side note, I am going to be using the English names just because I think it's what my audience will be most familiar with. One day, Kari and her older brother Tai receive a special egg through a computer screen. It hatches the fun and energetic Koromon, who, as the movie progresses, grows into larger forms. At one point, Koromon escapes with Kari, and Tai has to chase after them.
That looks creepy.
Eventually, a much larger egg comes from the sky and hatches a giant parrot Digimon. Koromon grows one last time to defeat it before disappearing. In the Digimon movie, I always loved this segment, but while watching the original version, it's clear a lot of the tone and style is lost. It's mysterious, it's slow building, and when the final battle hits, it's exciting and terrifying.
It feels like some Big O type of animation right here. Oh my god.
I love giant monster films, and although Digimon always features giant monsters, it never truly feels kaiju. But
this does not feel like the same Digimon I just watched.
Destruction and human perspective really makes it feel like a proper Godzilla Mon film. Even the final fire blast from Greymon feels like Godzilla's atomic breath. I also love how much like small children Kari and Tai are. Although they are kids in the anime, it's definitely an anime protagonist kind of kid.
You know, he is lanky in that anime.
But they're just as intelligent as a young adult. But here, they're little kids, totally helpless. It's fun and exciting and definitely worth that 20-minute runtime. Number 2, Children.
Now we're gonna stop it here. That was only 20 minutes? Oh wow. Definitely a prologue or prologue. How long is the game 1? We can watch this one too, because after that it's gonna be Adventure 2, so I guess we'll watch this and we're gonna stop the video. I mean, might as well.
Children's war game, or our war game as the posters and most wiki articles call it. This film was also directed by Mamoru Hosoda. It has a 40-minute runtime and was released on March 4th, 2000 as a part of the same festival which showcased Digimon Adventure. March 4th is also when the film takes place. What a neat and fun fact. This film. Wow. I truthfully think our war game may be the crown jewel of all the Digimon films and maybe even of Digimon itself. Well, not as a standalone work, but as a part of the Digimon
Oh, it's actually a
Adventure
movie. I thought it was a game.
Taking place over spring break, the year after the kids get back from the digital world, a Digimon has invaded the internet and begins tampering with computer systems around the globe. Izzy is the first of the original DigiDestined to take notice and heads over to Ty's house to warn him of the danger it can impose. After nearly a year, Izzy and Ty are able to get back in contact with the Digimon, but this time over the internet. Unfortunately, for a multitude of reasons, they're unable to get a hold of the other children to help tackle the threat together. Eventually, Matt and TK are contacted and they try to take down the Digimon before it can detonate a nuclear warhead in Tokyo Bay. Our war game is tense, it's heartwarming, and it's entertaining as heck. What makes it interesting is the logistical challenge between accessing the internet in the early 2000s and a fight against a strong enemy. If it were just one of these things, it'd be fine, but it's the combination of two which makes it cool. I really like it in action scenes when there's multiple things to worry about. It's not just a fight, but there's something else going on as well. When Ty and Izzy are having trouble contacting people, have their internet connection go out, or when Matt and TK can't find a computer connected to the internet, it helps make the action relatable because everyone with an internet connection has run into similar issues when trying to do a much more mundane task, like sending an important email or submitting an assignment. Even the solutions the characters find to these problems feel real.
Almost failed some tests in college because I didn't have internet connection. Or not tests, but like failed to submit some homework in time because I didn't have internet connection.
Like the satellite cell phone, the voicemail tag, etc. Also, because we feel for the characters already, when War Greymon and Metal Garurumon have their butt kicked, it's pretty hard to take. If this were a standalone film, I don't think that would be the case, but that's the benefit of working with established characters. You can do mostly plot-driven stuff because the audience is already sold on the characters and the world. I mean, Matt is barely in the movie, but we're still sad for him when his Digimon is hurt. When War Greymon and Metal Garurumon combine at the end to form Omnimon, it's awesome. And that final stab to Devimomon's head is wicked cool.
Oh, goodness.
In fact, Hosoda liked this film so much that he ended up taking a lot of the concepts and remaking it from the ground up without Digimon in a film called Summer Wars. Both Summer Wars and Our War game are definitely worth a watch.
Digimon. On the surface, it's a Pokemon clone, but
I think we're gonna stop right here, right? I think that was all of Digimon, I guess, season 1, we can say. Alright, next time we're watching Digimon Adventure 2 or 02. But no, that was fun. That was actually very enjoyable. I did not know that Digimon gets that serious at parts, especially like towards the later half of the season. I knew they had like Digimon. I knew they can like level up. I didn't know it was like 7 different evolutions to the Digimon process. I thought it was like, you know, chill. Maybe it's kind of like Pokemon where, you know, you fight different Digimon, you know, travel across the world, having fun. No, no. I mean, you're having fun, but you're trying to get back home. Also trying to save your world and the Digimon world. Very different stakes between Pokemon and Digimon. Very different stakes. I understand why you say these two are really different from each other now. Digimon definitely is the more, like, has some more serious stakes in it. Well, I haven't. No, Pokemon has some serious stakes in it as well. This was fun though. The movies too, those movies look good. I need to watch more anime movies. Like, even just movies by themselves. Not like there's the anime episodes and then there's a movie afterwards. Nah, just like movies, like the Girl Who Left Through Time and the other movies he mentioned. I gotta watch stuff like that because I'll be slacking on the anime movies because they be beautiful. They be having some beautiful animation and storytelling. But alright, we shall come back another day. This was fun hearing this. Now I'm curious to see what Adventure 2 has because I think that is the second season of Digimon Adventure. But after that, it's like a whole new different like cast of characters, I think. Until like 2020, I believe. I could be wrong. But we're gonna wrap the video up here. I'm gonna already subscribe to William. If he already said your name, I'm sorry. I was not listening. I'll listen this time. I can't find my cursor. There it is. I got you. But we're gonna wrap it up here. I got some stuff I gotta do. I gotta take care of this mess because I Pop-Tart. Very messy. Very messy. Yeah. Thank you for watching. My cup of tea is out of here. See you later. Man. Okay, good to know. Good to know Digimon is like that. Digimon is like that. They were not holding stuff back there, you know, dealing with family issues. Not depression. Maybe there was depression. I don't know. I don't know what goes on there in Digimon. That was like a really short review. That was just like a recap of what's going on there. I don't know. That's interesting. This is very interesting. This is very interesting so far. I'm curious to see how the other seasons stack up to season 1.